The time is now 7:01. Good evening and welcome to the February 2nd, 2023 fiscal year 2024 proposed operating budget public hearing. My name is Judy Mickens-Murray, Board Chair. Thank you for joining our proposed budget public hearing tonight. We have Spanish interpretation services available this evening. Ms. Lopez, would you please make an announcement that Spanish interpretation is available for viewers by clicking on the globe icon at the bottom of the screen?
La interpretación en español está disponible para los espectadores haciendo clic en el icono del globo en la parte inferior de la pantalla. Haga clic en ese globo y seleccione Spanish.
Thank you. Ms. Lopez, please call the roll.
Mrs. Adam Stafford. Ms. Pusa Strother.
Here.
Mr. Briggs.
Present.
Mr. Cerrón Ruiz. Mr. Fields.
Present.
Dr. Harris.
Present.
Mr. Jackson.
Here.
Mrs. LaSalle Frazier.
Present.
Dr. Juanita Miller. Dr. Zipporah Miller.
Present.
Mr. Murray.
Present.
Dr. Juanita Miller.
Present.
Ms. Walker.
Present.
Mrs. Mickens-Murray.
Present. Thank you. We will now
have-
hear.
I'm here. Valentine is here.
Okay.
I apologize, Mr. Valentine.
Present.
We now have a quorum. Thank you so much. We will now hear from our registered speakers for public comment. There are 10 confirmed registered live public speakers for tonight's public hearing. To our registered speakers, you have been registered to speak in a public comment forum where the Board of Education will listen to your comments. All registered speakers will have 3 minutes to make their presentation. Registered speakers may not relinquish any part of their public speaking time to another registered or unregistered individual. Speakers may not address individuals or issues with profanity or derogatory terms. You will be warned once. If you continue, your comments will be muted and you may be removed from the meeting. Speakers are encouraged to use titles rather than names. For example, principal, CEO, deputy superintendent, etc. Your adherence to these guidelines will enable the public participation process to move smoothly. Our first registered speaker for this evening is Belinda Queen, individual, metal detectors or cameras.
Good evening, Madam Chair. Ms. Queen and Ms. Wright, who's second on the list, have joined the meeting together. So I'll be moving.
We can barely hear you. Yeah, please speak up because I thought it was just me.
I said Ms. Queen and Ms. Wright are joining the session. They are on the same Zoom link. They're joining together.
Okay, so I'm sorry. I don't know who's calling. I'm sorry.
Can you hear me?
I can now, but you need to, if you can raise your volume a little bit more, it'd be helpful.
Okay, I will do that. But they are
Okay.
here.
Okay, so we will hear from Belinda Queen first, and then I will introduce Ms. Wright.
Can y'all hear
Ms.
me now?
Queen?
Okay,
Yes.
thank you so very much. I had to change my background so you guys can see me. Hello, everybody. Good to see you all, especially Dr. Golson and new chair, Mickens-Murray, and Ken, I missed you. I see you doing a great job with the budget committee. I'm so glad to have the opportunity to come speak on the other side. It's good to see all of you doctors on here. I don't want to start calling y'all out, but all of y'all, we got doctor's degrees on there. But I want to talk real quick about the budget. We got to find ways. I said it when I was on the board on a serious note, and I'll say it again. You guys see the gun violence that's going on in the area. It's all over. We have to find ways to bring metal detectors in our school system. Our babies are our most precious jewels. We have to protect them. And you know, I know people say it feel like a jail, but I'm sorry. The same way when we go through an airport, it may feel that way, but I feel safe because I know they're checked before we go on the plane. The same way when I go to the county executive meeting, I feel safe because I'm going in there. When I go to the courthouse, we have to do that with our school systems. We have to get some type of metal detectors. And even if people feel like the metal detected machines, because I'm being honest, a lot of schools that I have been to visit, the middle schools and the high schools in Washington area, they have them. As a board member, I was able to go visit a couple of schools. They have them. We need them in Prince George's County. I heard again today, somebody else brought a gun to school. You know, even though I'm not on the board, I keep hearing things. I keep getting phone calls, you guys. We have to do something. It is your responsibility to make good decisions to protect our children, protect our future. They even have something called Zero Eyes and Human Verify. It's like a gun detector. And I was looking that up. I mean, we got to research and find out, how we can have that, because I thought of the little elementary school. We don't want really metal detectors in our elementary school, but maybe we need the Zero Eye gun detector that can detect guns without the kids walking through a metal detector, like high school and middle school. But we need something. We need to protect our babies. So I definitely want to stay on that. I want you as board members and as Dr. Golson, especially before you leave, really truly think about this. I know you have done a great job. You as a CEO, you have represented us not only just from your past experience, but even as a parent. You have represented us, so you understand and you know how it is as a parent. Excuse my dog in the background, you guys. The next thing I want to talk about is after school programs. We got to invest more in after school programs where kids can continue to stay after on Tuesdays and Thursdays and get the help they need more than ever. We talk about equity, equality, and we got to hit diversity. We have diverse kids in our school system. Kids learn in different ways, so we got to make sure that our teachers and our staff understand that we have to do another way of training them and having them to stop forcing things on these kids. Every child is not going to be a mathematician. Every child is not going to be STEM.
Excuse me, Ms. Queen, your time has expired.
Okay, well, let me wrap it up with this last minute. So I just want to say we got to change the customer service. My grandchild go to John Bain, and the teachers are yelling at the kids. They're not talking to them as parents. We got to train these kids, and there's certain teachers, it's not all. We got to change the atmosphere in our school systems. Thank you so very much.
I appreciate it. Thank you for your comments.
Okay, and let me transfer this over to Ms. White. Right.
Our next speaker is Phyllis Wright, individual, metal detectors and quality. Ms. Wright.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to address, first of all, Dr. Golson. You are a jewel to me and the kids of Prince George's County. I don't know what we're going to do when you leave. My heart is broken. I wish we can change your mind. But the reason why I'm here, I'm the PTO president at William Hall Academy. And I've been there several times, and I've had parents call me in reference to the way the teachers, not all teachers, a lot of teachers are talking to their children, even in the preschool grade, the way they're hollering. We need to teach people how to talk a little bit better to our children. You know, when I was coming up, they used to say sticks and stones may break our bones, but words would never hurt. That's not true. Words do hurt, you know, and I see a lot of parents that say that their kids are afraid to go to school because the teachers are yelling at them. I wish it was some kind of way where we can train our teacher or even send people in to invest in seeing what the teachers are doing with the children. Far as security, we need security in all of our schools, elementary school up to middle school up to high school, because there is a danger. There is a danger. We don't know when or how. We know it's going to happen eventually. If we can get the metal detectors, and I've been saying this for a long time, if we can get the metal detectors, just today at William Work Junior High School, middle school, someone brought a loaded gun to school. My kids are at William Hall Academy. I'm afraid, thank you all so much for the security. We do have security now when we didn't have security at first. Thank you to Julie, and I thank you all for the computers. But I also know that we still need computers there for the children. Each and every child there does not have a computer. I've been the president for the last 5 years. This will be my last year as a PTO president. I do not have a good relationship with the principal that we have. I tried to work with her. She doesn't want to work with me. I don't know why, but I'm going to do the best that I can for the children and for the parents while I am there. I'm going to speak up for what I need. So we need to have customer service in our front office. Ms. Murray, I wish you can do a walkthrough through the schools because we have a lot of new people there. And Dr. Golson, you're breaking my heart. I just don't know what I'm going to do without you because you felt my pain as a mother. And we need someone like you because you done worked on every revenue. You was a teacher, a principal, and a mother and a wife. So you understand how hard I fight for my children and how hard I will continue to fight as long as I have a voice that I will be. But we need to do something with the metal detectors and security. We need to put the police in each and every one of our schools if we could. Thank you so much for taking time. And my principal, I know she's new, but I'm used to a principal show me that she cares. So maybe we can work on that as well.
Ms. Wright, your time has expired. Thank you.
Thank you so much for letting me talk.
Our next speaker, Ben Gilliam, individual, school renovation and building.
Mrs. Mickens Murray, number 3, 4, 5, and 6 are not in queue. I'm ready to promote number 7, Miss Anne Marie Casanova.
Thank you, staff member Mia. Thank you. Our next speaker is Anne Marie Casanova, individual, speech language.
Good evening. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak this evening. I am a speech therapist in Prince George's County Public Schools. I had submitted a written testimony last week for a review at the budget meeting since I was unable to attend. However, I'm back this week to discuss the SLP shortage. There are 800 students without speech language services due to the SLP shortage. SLPs are a high commodity and get job offers every day from other counties and agencies. If the county continues to overload, overwork, and take their SLPs for granted, this shortage will increase every year. The SLPs in this county are one of the hardest working professionals that I know. We take pride in our work and we want to see our students succeed. However, the fact that we are drowning with the expectations the administrators are putting on us is making us look for jobs elsewhere. I currently have a caseload of 60 students, which by American Speech Language and Hearing Association standards is not manageable. They state in a study completed in spring of 2022 that for my placement, a manageable caseload is 20. The SLPs participated in a climate survey, and the results of that survey showed that out of 93 participants, 14% stated that they will not be returning to PGCPS next school year, and 48% stated maybe. That will be a lot more students that will not be receiving their speech language services. The SLPs have begged for help from our administration to help reduce our caseload and give us some type of relief. However, despite these pleas, the county is still moving forward with an SLP mitigation plan to add even more students to mine and others' caseload and workload. I am here to tell you that the SLPs are not able to take on any more. Referencing back to the survey, due to the high caseloads, 30% of SLPs are usually taking work home with them, and 27% stated that they are always taking work home with them. This expectation to work over our 7-hour workday is outrageous and it cannot continue. These demands to service our unmanageable caseloads, completing log notes, validating Medicaid logs, participate in IEP meetings, complete IEP paperwork, complete testing, write reports, provide supports to teachers, provide consultations, participate in collaborative planning, write progress reports, and the list goes on. It is just too much. Unless the county changes the way we provide services to our students and reduce our casework and caseload, the county will be losing more SLPs. The SLPs that you have now are not the ones to fix the SLP shortage. To not lose more SLPs, the pay needs to be increased to attract more SLPs to come to the county and to keep the ones that you have. No one is going to want to come to work and PGCPS if they hear about the high caseload, the low pay rates, and the poor mental and physical well-being that the county has caused. If we get more SLPs, our caseloads can be reduced, which will be better the mental health and physical well-being of your SLPs and give our PGCPS students the services they need and deserve. Thank you for your time.
You're muted, board member, Chair Mickens.
Sorry. Rashid Boner. Individual, the impact of behavioral interventions on student discipline.
Yes, can everybody hear me okay? Okay, good. So my name is Rashid Bonner, and I'm a school psychologist here in the district. Now, I've been working with the Comprehensive Coordinated Early Intervening Services, or CCEIS program, since 2017. And as a school district, we know that our goal is to get out and stay out of CCEIS status, which is a state indicator of disproportionality. Now, I want you all to stick with me because I'll bring this full circle, okay? So from 2017 to 2020, I was assigned to Potomac High School. And here the CCEIS team consisted of myself, a licensed clinical social worker, and a crisis intervention resource teacher, or CIRT. And we provided individual and group counseling and crisis intervention to general education students. And in approximately 2 years, we expanded our core CCEIS team of 3 to a more comprehensive school-based mental health team, consisting of administrators, school counselors, a conflict mediator, and 2 therapists from an outside agency. Now, in addition to providing direct behavioral and social emotional intervention, we also pushed into the classrooms and the cafeteria during lunch to teach students about mental health and provide them with resources. Now, what was the end result of this? Our team and the model that we utilized significantly contributed to a decrease in suspensions, which resulted in Potomac High School no longer being in CCEIS status for disproportionate suspensions. There are other positive outcomes, and I'm more than happy to provide those upon request. We were able to accomplish this because we had the personnel, the leadership, both in the building and in central office. We had a plan and a common goal to do what's in the best interest of the students. Now, throughout my career, I've worked with some brilliant and inspirational educators and administrators who exhibit great leadership, both at the local and building level and in central office, who make database decisions that are in the best interest of students. I think you all would agree. Unfortunately, I've also worked with a small percentage of educators and administrators with great influence who believe enforcing a culture of zero tolerance is effective and in the best interest of students, despite mountains of research, data, and experience suggesting it does not have the desired effect. So I'm asking that you strongly consider funding, implementing, and expanding a mental health, social emotional learning, and restorative approach to helping all of our students in the district, as opposed to just a handful of schools. We can improve student behavior and academic performance and academic achievement, but also improve the overall climate and safety of our schools and our communities, because it works. And when it's done right, we've seen its impact on students. And we have an opportunity to do something great. And I hope that the board sees the potential in this opportunity to set the bar high for other large districts in Maryland, but also across the country. So that's what I'd like to say, and thank you all very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bonner, and I apologize for mispronouncing your name.
It's all good, I appreciate it.
Thank you. Our next speaker, Tammy J. O'Donnell, individual substitute pay.
Good evening. My name is Tammy O'Donnell. I'm an English teacher at CMIT North High School and proud parent of an 11th grader. Thank you for this opportunity to speak to you regarding the budget and asking for an increase to substitute teacher pay. I come here today because teachers are burning out. This is not news. These last 2 years have seen an additional burden on teachers substituting in our buildings. On a day when we get at least one period of planning and lunch, many of us have to cover a class or work without the benefit of a co-teacher because a substitute could not be found. There are not enough substitutes in our substitute pool. As I review the presentation by Dr. Goldson on December 8th, the 3 main focus areas of the budget are mathematics, school climate, and social emotional learning and mental health. If we were to have more substitutes available to cover classes, each and every one of these areas could be impacted. A math teacher, or any teacher for that matter, could focus their attention on lesson planning, addressing the educational needs of students, and working collaboratively with content area teachers, which could improve student performance. Having to cover a class means that an opportunity is lost and student success can suffer. In talking with some substitute teachers, two factors come into play as to why they will not commit to substitute teaching in our district. The first is pay. According to the PGCPS website, substitute teachers earn $150 daily, and long-term substitute teachers earn $213.75 daily. This comes out to roughly $20 per hour. Factor in the taxes, and substitute teachers make somewhere in the neighborhood of $80 a day. It's not enough, especially when you factor in the second reason why they will not commit to our schools: students' behavior, especially in large classes. Substitute teachers have little on-site support or training in classroom management, and many times they are simply thrown into a classroom and told to babysit. The lack of respect for substitute teachers can sometimes trickle down to the students, making the substitute's job even harder. Having additional substitutes in the building with teachers who would otherwise have covered that class will help with school climate and behavior issues. We need to actively recruit substitute teachers, and we need to support them so that they will want to return. Otherwise, you are going to burn out your full-time teachers, which will not improve the school climate. Please consider adding funding for substitute teacher pay and increasing recruitment efforts so that our classroom teachers can serve our students better and help the CEO meet the goals of this budget. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. O'Donnell. Our next speaker is Dolores Millhouse, individual, funding support for parent and community advisory engagement.
Good evening, everyone. I almost left the meeting. I'm sorry. I almost hit leave. Thank you for having me here today. I'm Dolores Millhouse, and although I am speaking on the Parent and Community Advisory Council, I'm not speaking on behalf of the council because this was not an agreed upon speech that I am giving. I am here to talk about engagement and the importance of family and community engagement. If the law is stating that they see that it's something that will help with what we're doing, the federal government is putting funding in place, I'm asking that you all consider looking at the funding that is currently in place for the Family and School Partnerships Department. As the Parent and Community Advisory Council is now what I would say it's revitalized, we have been able to really identify some opportunities for the district and how we work to engage with one another. And as I listen to your discussion over the past couple of hours, I'm hearing certain things such as how do we increase the teacher pipeline? And it was said that if we speak about it differently, then we are to attract possibly more individuals. Well, the pipeline begins with the student. And so if the student is seeing and feeling that they're being treated in such a way, then it may be a profession that they want to go into. So you can say what you want about the profession, but if they see something different, so how are you engaging those students to see that it may be a profession to go into? We talk about behavior, we're talking about metal detectors, but how are you working with the parent to address the behavior problems and get them on board? Accountability for education is across the board. When I look at education, it's partners in education. And when you think about the acronyms, it's PIE. So when you look at it as a whole, if we all come together and everybody wants a slice, then everybody's eating. But if you look at the pie and it's already pieces taken out of it and it's not enough to go around, then you're really not able to feed everybody at the table. So when we talk about education and educating the whole child, what I'm not hearing and seeing, especially when I look at you all's the board initiatives that you sent for the consolidated board member priorities, I don't see family and community engagement in here. I don't see that as a priority that you are looking at to make sure that you have a PCAT, you have, you have the student SGA organizations. How are we bringing all of these groups together to get the buy-in and understanding? When the discussion was about technology and it was making it parent friendly. Well, did you get the parents' input, or are you doing it and thinking that maybe this will work? So what I'm saying to you is if we're going to talk about something that's equitable, equitable also comes with funding, and we need to talk about the funding. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Millhouse. This completes the list for the registered speakers. We also received written comments from 2 registrants, which are available for reviewing on board docs. Thank you for your comments. Before I leave, I want to thank board staff. You have coordinated an excellent meeting, both meetings tonight. So I want to give you public appreciation for that. 3.0 next steps. This concludes the fiscal year 2024 budget public hearing session for February 2nd, 2023. We hope to see you at the 3rd and last budget hearing scheduled for Monday, February 13th, 2023. This meeting will also be virtual. Please visit the board web page for the Zoom links to access the session. Thank you all and have a good night.
Good night.